What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the show. It's your boy Roddy Rod, man. I got two topics here. This first one, man, it's a guy from Houston, black guy, and I'm not sure if he's a black American or if he's Cuban because he does speak Spanish. But you just need to be aware if you are an employee speaking Spanish around this man, because if you do and you say the wrong thing, he knows exactly what you're talking about. So you better be careful.
Like I said, my intention wasn't to get her fired, was to check her, to watch what you say, because you never know who will understand you. So you see me as a black person, but you don't know my roots. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what I'm trying to wake her up to. Man, you never know who will understand you, because there's a bunch of us Afro-Latinos que habla español. Y como yo parle français, I speak French and Spanish, so.
Did you ever expect
Yeah, he's probably Cuban. He said he's an Afro-Latino. So you better be careful, S.A., because he going to find out. He going to know exactly what you said. So you can play around all you want to and talk real slick under your tongue or think you saying something that don't nobody know what you're saying because it's in a different language and you just making an assumption that somebody doesn't know how to speak Spanish. It doesn't even have to be a Afro-Latino. It could be just a regular black American, somebody who's well-educated, somebody really not even that, somebody who just knows Spanish. Maybe they grew up around Spanish people. Who knows?
the video to blow up the way it did?
No, I did not. And, you know, I didn't video it. Like I'm telling people, I didn't video to get the girl fired. What happened was I was in the store, Family Dollar, and I was buying.
Oh, I would have definitely got her fired. If she said what I thought she said, what it sounded like what he was saying, oh, I would have got her fired. I don't know. We can't play with that no more. As much as other individuals do to us, and they are always trying to get us fired, and you think I'm gonna be light with you when it comes to you? Nah. You call me out my name and I know about it, I'm going to corporate. Or I need to talk to the manager. Things will be reciprocated around here.
Buying a few things and some soap and stuff like that. Now, the one lady, she was on the aisle with me. She knew I spoke Spanish because I had my phone on speaker and I was talking to a customer in Spanish. So she knew I spoke Spanish. The girl behind the counter, she probably didn't. So as I was going through the line, the lady in front of me, she
made an assumption because he was a black guy, melanated individual, and assumed that he didn't speak Spanish. Which is really a bad assumption this day and age when you got so many people who are growing up around Latino people. Even if they don't know Spanish, you may know some words. It may be a word or two that you catch in there to let you know exactly what they're talking about. So for that individual to just make that assumption and just try to speak freely and talk down about somebody in front of them, it just shows the arrogance.
She had a little girl, and her little girl had some little tennis, and they were black. So she asked the girl behind the counter, what about the white tennis? She said, no, the white tennis, they were speaking Spanish. She said, the white tennis for boys. She said, but when I opened up the box, I put the box behind the counter because she said in Spanish, porque los negros estaban robando. The black people, and I'm going to say it without being derogatory, but she's saying the black people would be stealing the tennis. But she said it in Spanish in a derogatory way. So the lady in front of me, who knew I spoke Spanish, turns around and looked at me in the face. And then she started engaging the conversation. No, estos negros siempre allá están robando.
She trying to cover for it. She really trying to help her out. That's what he's saying. She knew he spoke Spanish, so she tried to help the young lady behind the register out. Really trying to throw her a bone, trying to change the subject or try to divert the conversation some kind of way and get her off for talking about black people with stealing shoes. That's one of those assumptions that I don't like either. Go into a dollar store. This was a dollar store. I've been in dollar stores. I go in there all the time. I see white people stealing because it's usually one person at the register. They got tons of boxes down the aisles. They hadn't stocked stuff. It's just random stuff everywhere because the person that's behind the register is usually trying to stock and ring up people. Now, how are they supposed to do that? Tell me how are they supposed to do that? How many dollar stores have y'all gone to and you see the person, they got like a little bell or something up front. When you get up there, you got to ding the bell so they can come up there. Because if not, they're going to be back there trying to stop. And I ain't talking about 1 or 2 aisles. It's shit on every aisle. It's carts full of shit that they got to put away, that they got to have done. So they don't even give these people adequate help in these stores to maybe watch people who's stealing. But they got them doing multiple jobs. And then for her to act like only black people steal, that's crazy. I go in the dollar store all the time. Like I said, I see Latinos be in there stealing. They'll have their kids in there stealing. Let's get that straight. They acting like they shopping and the little kids is just grabbing stuff. And they know they grabbing stuff and they ain't saying nothing to them. White folks be in there stealing. You know, it's so funny how now that they try to put such stereotypes on black folks that a lot of us actually go out of our way to try to let it be known that we ain't stealing. That's how sad it is. A lot of times, to be honest with you, if I see the lady, I'm going to kind of be in her view. I'm going to grab what I need. But at the same time, I'm going to be friendly. I'm not going. It's like we trying to dispel the stereotype of what people think about us. That's how bad it is. While the whole time we trying to dispel it, you got other folks they trying to put on us.
Like us. So I'm sitting in line. I'm really holding my peace to keep from going off because I don't want to act a fool. So I wait till she burn off, and I tell the little sister behind the counter, I said, let me give you a word of advice. I said, man, you'll never know. I said, you'll never know who you offend. And as I'm trying to tell her, I guess she's snapping. Did he understand me? So I tell her in Spanish, yo soy cubano. To let her know I understand. So now she's going to the fence and trying to explain to me why she said what she said, you know what I'm saying? And I was videoing myself. And then she hollered for her manager, he's videoing me. So I'm like, I wouldn't, but I say I am now. So I put her on blast. And like I said, my intention wasn't to get her fired, was to check her, to watch what you say. Because you never know who understand you. So you see me as a black person, but you don't know my roots. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I'm trying to wake her up to, man, you never know who understand you. Because there's a bunch of us Afro-Latinos que habla español. Y como yo parle français aussi, I speak French and Spanish. So you see the man, but you don't know the roots. And that was my thing. You never know who you offend because you never know who understand you.
Right. And what was that moment like when you got a call from corporate?
I can't say this here. Corporate called me to apologize. That made me feel good that somebody took out their time, that somebody responded to my complaint, because it was my Facebook fam, one of my Facebook wonder. She called it, she posted it, she sent it to corporate, and corporate called me, and they said, man, we sorry, man. We sorry, that should have never happened. I explained to them what happened, and they said she never should have had that conversation. So they did apologize. They did call me and reach out to me to give me a sincere apology that they were sorry and that they would take care of, rectify the situation. Like I told them, I wasn't trying to get her fired, but say lo que sea, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
So
Fox 26 Houston. Yeah. He better than me. Because if corporate would have called me, especially after they always accusing black folks of stealing, okay, now I want something for free. I need $100 gift certificate, $200 gift certificate. I need something. Because obviously your employees think that black folks steal and nobody else steals. She would have left the damn box on the ground and walked away from it if it was some white folks around her. Or if it was some Latino people and they would have swiped it right up from under her ass. Let me tell you something. I worked in retail. The main people who's stealing are the ones you don't think is stealing. That's the game now. The game is to come in there and look like you an average individual. The game is to come in there and be normal. See, the stereotype was always black folks who look kind of ruggish, white people who look kind of ruggish, Latino people who look ruggish and poor. Now, let me tell you who be stealing. It's the folks that come in there dressed up. It's the folks who come in there looking like $1 million. That's the game. Because they know you ain't looking at them. If you watching the cameras, you ain't paying no attention to them. And they taking stuff right up under your nose. They taking stuff right up under your nose. You have no idea what's going on. None. They making a fool out of you. While you sit up here stereotyping everybody else, they making a straight fool out of you. Now, I got the clip where he was actually in the store, the one that he said he was recording the young lady. I got it right here. Check it out.
Let me give you a word of advice. Man, you got to watch what you say when you say it. Because this is what I'm saying. Because you don't know who speaks Spanish. Yo soy cubano, ¿me entiendes? Pero yo soy cubano.
Okay.
Y cuando habla la gente negra, estoy hablando de mí también.
I was just saying.
Okay, but I'm just saying, you need to watch what you say.
I was just saying.
Okay, I'm just letting you know, though. When you talk about people.
I was just saying it. I was just saying it. That don't make it no better. And then she go call her about Christina!
What the fuck, y'all? God damn!
Help me, Christina. He's recording me. He caught me speaking Spanish. He knows what I said. You should have been careful of what the hell you were saying. Now you looking crazy. Ain't no telling how many other customers was behind him like, oh, shit. And her only explanation is, I was just saying it. Don't just say no shit like that. Black folks catch enough hell. And then you got Latino people. Let's be honest, probably illegal. Probably ain't got no business over here. And then want to claim somebody else stealing. Hell, you a criminal. You probably broke laws to get over here. You ain't done the proper. You ain't went through the proper process to get here. That's one of the issues when it comes to us. Y'all come over here illegally and think that y'all better than us, or you think that you're doing something. Nah, you getting help. They probably hired you because you was an illegal immigrant or something. Some type of program. Black folks don't get programs like that. They do everything in their power to not let you be involved in stuff like that. I'm going to continue.
People, especially black people, man, watch what you're saying. I ain't recording you. I'm recording myself. I'm recording you now. So, you know what? That's what I'm saying.
Selena.
They be talking that shit Spanish, thinking people don't understand their ass. Yo soy cubano. Cuando hablan de mierda de negro, tú hablas de mí también. So when you talk about black folks in Spanish, a bunch of them understand what the fuck you're saying. No, y'all talking that nigga shit Spanish. Yo soy cubano, yo entiendo. Cuando hablas esa mierda de negro, tú hablas de mí también.
He went the hell out, didn't he? He got fired up. He said, I was recording myself, but I'm recording you now. Nah, put them on blast. Put these folks on blast. He did exactly what he should have done. Put your ass on blast so we can all see who you is. So when I go to the store and I see your ass in there, I might just say something to you just for the hell of it. Since black folks are so rude and ghetto and we like to steal. It's funny how people got so many stereotypes about black people, but they love what we do. They love to copycat us, don't they? But they sure hate us. Shit don't make no sense. It don't make no sense at all. None. Just hateful. All right, and my next story, because I can tell that's the story that'll get me fired up. I could go on and on about that. Matter of fact, if you're listening to this right now, make sure you hit that like button for me. And if you're new to the channel, if you like the content, make sure you hit that subscribe button. I really would appreciate it. And also, if you want to, you can catch me live, usually Monday through Fridays, maybe Saturdays at around 7 o'clock. If not, just hit that notification bell when you subscribe to the channel, and it'll let you know when I go live. Because if I don't go live right about 7, it'll be maybe a little bit before 7 or a little bit after 7. I'm trying to be more consistent with the live time. I got a couple of people who usually join me on the show, so we'll have certain discussions and we'll talk about different topics. And then also, I always have it where you can join me on the show. You can come up. I put a link in the chat box usually, and you can enjoy the show with us as well. Have your comments or whatnot. Appreciate y'all. Yeah, make sure you hit that like button. Also, if you want to leave a little tip, you can also, it's a button should be at the bottom of the video where you can show your thanks. Or, I got a Cash App. You can hit the Cash App at Roddy Rod 903. And I really would appreciate that as well. But my next story I got right here is it's a white couple who adopted black children and forced them to work as slaves learns fate. Now, this happened in 2018, I think, where they adopted 5 children. This West Virginia couple, they adopted 5 children. And I don't know, but I think somebody realized what was going on and actually turned them into authorities. And they ended up doing an investigation and finding videos and whatnot in the house, which is crazy. I'm going to read the article, and then I also have a video that I can show to you. All right, in the article it says, and this article is from People magazine, and it's by Christine Pelisek. It was published on March 20th, 2025. A white West Virginia couple was sentenced to decades in prison this week for abusing some of their adopted children who are black, including by forcing them to perform heavy labor like slaves. Donald Lantz, 62, was sentenced to 160 years in prison after being found guilty of forced labor, human trafficking, child abuse, and neglect, the New York Times reported. His wife, Jeanne K. Whitefeather, 63, who was convicted of the same charges plus violating her children's civil rights, was sentenced to 215 years behind bars. The couple was convicted in January. You brought these children to West Virginia, a place that I know is almost heaven, and you put them in hell, a Judicial Circuit Court Judge Mary Clay Akers said during sentencing. Per WCHS, this court will now put you in yours, and may God have mercy on your souls, because this court will not. The couple adopted the 5 children in 2018 and eventually moved to Kanawha County in May 2023, prosecutors said per the Times. They were arrested in October 2023 after a neighbor called Child Protective Services alleging that 2 teenagers, 14 and 16, were locked in a shed at the couple's home in Sissonville, according to the court documents obtained by WCHS TV. Other neighbors also claimed that the children were forced to perform farm labor and were not permitted inside the residence per the documents. Now, ain't this sick? You doing children like this. Then you go as far as to go get some black children. So you trying to relive the past. Me, just reading this, I have no sympathy for them. At the time when I first got into it, the first time I seen it, I was pissed off. Because stuff like this makes no sense. I mean, who do you think you are to adopt 5 children? Not only that, you're getting the benefits. You're probably getting food stamps and any other type of services. And then you got these kids just busting their ass, working for free. At least you could have done something where they have some chores and incentivize them, improve their lives help them out, give them a boost in life. Instead, you use them as slaves. So you had bad intentions from the jump. I mean, it's disgusting what these people did. And I hope they get what they deserve when they get in prison. Because when people in prison find out certain crimes that you do, they make you pay for that. Because believe it or not, it's even an element to criminals where they have a sense of I guess you could say integrity. Well, I'll steal, but I ain't messing with no kids. I'll rob, I'll kill, but look, kids is off limits. They got a big issue with that in the prisons. People who criminals, they got a big issue with folks who harm children because it's almost universally known. I don't care what race, what religion, or anything that you from. People know that kids are off limits because it just takes a different mindset for you to do something to a child. Everybody understands that. Everybody. I don't know who doesn't understand that. Deputies responded to the home and alleged 2 children were locked in the shed with a portable toilet and no running water. According to an indictment cited by West Virginia Metro News, the children told authorities they were forced to sleep on the floor and had been locked in the shed for about 12 hours per the indictment. That's crazy. I even seen one video where they was making them like stand with their hands in the air for hours. Just basically torture. So not only is you working for free, when you get off, now they just torturing you. And then they not even feeding the kids on top of that. They using the bathroom just anywhere. The children were wearing dirty clothes, and the oldest boy had what appeared to be sores on his feet. A 16-count indictment was filed against the couple. It alleges human trafficking, human rights violations, the use of forced labor. Akers said during a 2024 hearing about the indictment, according to the West Virginia Metro News, human rights violations specific to the fact that these children were targeted because of their race and they were used basically as slaves from what the indictment alleges. Of course, that's what it was. They were probably calling them the N-word. Hell, if nobody would have stopped this, I'm pretty sure they would have started beating them. If they probably weren't already beating them. And I mean literally probably like tying them up. Like they used to do with their hands clasped together. Beating them. I wouldn't be surprised if they did anything like that. Well, we know when they get in there, they're going to get exactly what they deserve. The oldest daughter testified during the trial that the children were regularly cursed at, and some of them had to stand in their rooms for hours, just like I said, with their hands on their heads. Lantz's attorney, John J. Belinovich, tells people his client, who was not found guilty of a civil rights violation, maintains his innocence of all charges. Whitefeather's attorney could not be reached for comment. You know what? Once these children come of age, once they get old enough to, where they're not protected anymore and they can speak out, this is going to be a story. It's going to be a story. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be a lot of stuff to come out of this. I think it's just not really, really big news because a lot of those kids were underage. They even showed one clip where they had the girl's face blurred out when she was on the stand. But overall, yeah, I think that when they get ready to come of age, they're going to be able to speak out. They're going to be able to speak out and talk about their experience. And they probably going to tell us stuff that we haven't even read yet. And I imagine them being black kids, I imagine they would have been plotting to get out of there for the longest of time. Even beyond somebody telling and probably seeing what had been done to them. I imagine they was getting together when they was by themselves and trying to figure out ways to get out of there. I just know they were.
children. Lantz and Whitefeather kept motion-activated Arlo cameras on the children, one in the shed on the 14-year-old boy and 16-year-old girl, and one in a room upstairs with no bed, only a tarp floor that stayed on the 9-year-old girl and 11-year-old boy. The video showed a daily routine of waking up early and being forced to stand with hands on head, unable to change or shower, receiving only peanut butter sandwiches to eat before going back to bed on the floor. In the shed, the teens used a camper toilet holding a...
Don't that piss you off? How many kids you know can survive on a peanut butter sandwich? What they say, kids will eat you out of house and home. Kids can eat just for the hell of it. Remember, you feel bad when a kid don't get enough. And you know they probably full. Well, let me go on and fix them another sandwich or another plate of food. Let me fix them something. You constantly checking on them, especially the black folks. Did you eat? You good? You okay? Even if you ain't got enough, hell, you would sacrifice your food and give it to them. Because you like to see the smile on the kid's face when after they didn't. Hey, have you ever gave a kid something when they was hungry? Like your kids, they be grumpy, and then you finally fix something to eat, and they start eating, and they be... That make you happy, and you probably ain't even ate nothing yet. You're like, okay, I feel good. They good. You know what I'm saying? The kid's good. So they really ain't shit for this.
A sheet up for each other to shield the other from the camera. Lieutenant Pyle said she first began hearing about this in August before the shed discovery, but testified could never quite get a hold of a CPS worker to follow up.
There was a contact made with a worker once, but there was no further contact to coordinate going and making a visit to the residence together.
The jury saw days of video the Arlo camera saved, including the moments deputies busted in the door on the shed on October 2nd.
You're okay.
The children were turned over to Child Protective Services, and when Lantz and Whitefeather got back with two of the children that night, they were later arrested. But
you know, as a cop, I don't know how they do it. Because if I was a cop, and I imagine probably some of those cops too, when you bust in there and you see them kids like slaves in there and they've been locked up, I could see myself snapping. And I know other people who's watching this, I know you can see yourself losing it. Want to go in there and wring somebody's neck. I don't care if it's black kids, white kids. If I see some little kids in a shed and they've been locked up, and I'm a cop and I bust in there, I wouldn't want to get my hands on somebody's ass so fast. I'm liable to get charges put on me. Because I'm going to want to do something to your ass. Because that's just a sick individual to do something like that.
But that was just the beginning of their charges and the investigation. On Friday, the jury got an inside look at Whitefeather's cell phone. This included text messages between she and Lantz where they referred to the kids as monkeys and pigs. Often Lantz would describe physical punishment where he said he, quote, knocked one of them. We saw one text where Lantz said, quote, somebody didn't say thank you, and his sandwiches disappeared. We also saw more video from Whitefeather's phone from their time in Washington that also showed yelling and physical abuse from Lantz. A finance expert from the West Virginia Fusion Center, Alyssa Ledbetter, also took...
Oh, yeah, they're going to tear him off the meat rack. That's why he got that stupid look on his face. That's why he got that stupid look on his face right there. Because they're going to tear your ass off the meat rack when you get in there. Her ass, too. Her ass, too. But once because you know them people on the inside, they get that paperwork. They're going to get that paperwork. And it's going to be some black folks. And they're going to find out what you did. You're going to be somebody's slave. So you better get ready to take it. Because you dished it out. So get ready to take it, sir. They're going to put you through hell. You got a long way to go.
took the stand on Friday. She broke down the adoption payments Whitefeather and Lantz received from Minnesota. She said in total of what they analyzed from 2019 to 2023, the two received about $318,000 in adoption support payments, but she testified this didn't tell the whole story.
Well, the assistance began in June of 2018, and I only had from June of 2019 to November of 2023. So altogether, we're missing about 18 months.
All of this leading up to the most harrowing testimony so far on Friday afternoon from someone who lived it. We are not allowed to film or record the victims who will testify in this case, but we're in the room as the teen girl, now 18, but 16 at the time, shared what her life was like both in Washington State and in Sissonville. She said life progressively got worse with Whitefeather and Lantz once they moved to the ranch in Washington in 2019. This is when the outdoor labor began, she said, and the physical punishments that included hits from a PVC pipe while under a child services
Did you just see him? He had the PVC pipe in his hand. Look at this some bitch. It's right there on the tape. He got the PVC pipe in his hand, and look at the boy. He probably just hit him. Look how he's standing there. He probably had just got hit with the damn PVC pipe, and that's probably her ass sitting up here taking video or pictures of it. Man, I hope they tear y'all asses up when y'all get in there. They need to wear y'all motherfucking ass out. They need to tear y'all motherfucking ass up. Somebody need to get a PVC pipe and wrap it around your fucking head. That's what need to be done. Because you ain't shit. He think he miserable. Now, you gonna be miserable. You gonna wish you was checked out of this motherfucker. Man, I hope they tear their motherfucking ass up. Woo.
She said life progressively got worse with Whitefeather and Lantz once they moved to the ranch in Washington in 2019. This is when the outdoor labor began, she said, and the physical punishments that included hits from a PVC pipe. While under a child services investigation there in Washington, eventually they moved to Sissonville, but she did not know why. She talked about how CBS was called soon after they arrived in West Virginia, and she detailed a visit from a worker who stayed on the porch and talked to them through the screen door. The teen testified she was not honest with CPS because Lantz could hear her from where she was standing. Eventually, she and her teen brother, who has several mental health disorders, were locked in a shed in August of 2023. She said she went without a shower for 2 months and never changed clothes. She went from sleeping on a mattress to the floor with a sleeping bag. Her brother slept on the concrete floor with only cardboard.
Now I'm really pissed off. They had mental disabilities, some of them. They had mental disabilities. God damn. Bro, I have a brother with a mental disability. And anytime I hear anything about somebody doing something to him, I get on 10. And he's older than me.
At his head. She said she was forced to be his babysitter, but testified he was never the dangerous, violent kid that Lantz and Whitefeather made him out to be. She recalled the use of physical violence, pepper spray, and racial slurs from Lantz and Whitefeather. She recalled also being scared when police arrived at the shed, worried that she would say something to upset Whitefeather. Some of her more emotional moments came during cross-examination by Whitefeather's attorney, Mark Plants. At one point, he referred to Whitefeather as her mother, and she quickly corrected him. He questioned why some of her interviews before this contradicted what she said on the stand, but when Tuck asked her why she felt comfortable telling the truth now, she said, because I know I won't have to go back to that.
Shit. I don't even know how that attorney could represent. I couldn't represent them. I don't know how they found anybody to represent them. I'd be like, hell no. Nah. Or if but you can't do that. They won't let you do it. But look, I'd have got in there and made sure they got time. I'd have got in there and acted like I was going to do the questions and stuff right and just flubbed it. I'd have flubbed the case up on purpose. Just messed it up. and ensured their ass was going in downtown. I'm telling you, I would have sealed their fucking fate. I'd have been misquoting, misreading statements. I would have messed the case up. I'd have messed the case. I'd be like, yeah, I represent you, and just messed the case up. They'd have been like, damn, we going to yeah, y'all going to jail. And every night when I got home, I'd have been just smiling, knowing I'm finna take your money and send your ass to jail. You gone. But yeah, man, that story just really, that one really like, had me pissed off the first time I heard it. I know it's got some of y'all, if you're watching this, pretty angry as well. Because these people, they just sick individuals. They ain't got no business having no kids. It got to be a proper vetting process when it comes to folks adopting children. And I know they get them by themselves and ask them questions, but it got to be something else done. Maybe they got to put a tracker or something in the house, or you have to be surveilled some kind of way, or you can secretly give the children something where that they can, if something is going on, they can report to you some type of way. Maybe, I don't know, just some type of device that the parents don't know about that the children can have on them, or some type of signal. It's got to be, they got to come up with something. Because for him to have some black children as slaves, especially ones with mental disabilities, that's sick. Then it showed he had the PVC pipe in his hand. You could tell he just hit the little boy with it because the little boy was holding his arm. They forcing him to do hard labor. Like, who do these people think that they are? They need to whoop his ass in there. Man, I have him washing clothes. He'll be cleaning up the cell. We had that nigga cleaning up 3 or 4 cells a day and whooping his ass and taking his food, rationing his food out to him. That's what they need to do. That's exactly what they need to do. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all watching this video. I appreciate y'all checking it out. As always, like I say, make sure you hit that like button for me. If you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And as always, I'm going to catch y'all next time. Peace.